Death, the brand new HBO Max original, and I know, the show, the streaming service has been rebranded. It's no longer called HBO Max. It is now called, wait for it, Max. Which I don't like the name. It's a bit dumb because HBO has a reputation for 9 times out of 10 shitting out gold, while Max has not. So I am refusing to call it just Max. So it's HBO Max this and HBO Max that. So getcha. Amazon Paradise Lost, HBO Max series. You gotcha. Like a couple of years later when they do the Wonder Woman show. Anyway, so Love and Death, which is a 7-part miniseries. There's a HBO Max series, and what kind of intrigued me, like I remember watching the preview that they did about December or like November of last year, where they were like, this is our slate coming up in 2023, and we're like, we're going through the documentary here, documentary there, this one, session, and Last of Us and all that kind of stuff. But there was also this other show that they only showed a couple of seconds of, and I'm like, this sounds really intriguing, like this Elizabeth Olsen show called Love and Death. It's looks like it's going to be like a affair that leads to a murder. I'm like, okay, this is very interesting. And as most streaming services go, they like to release like the first couple episodes. In this case, the first 3. Now, this part of recording, I have only watched the first episode, which is called The Huntress. No related to Batman. Imagine that. But Superman has an appearance. It's trick or treat, so a kid wears a Superman outfit. Anyway, so the plan is in one video, you're going to get 3 reviews in one video. So I'm going to do episode 1 right now. Episode 2 is when I watch episode 2, and then episode 3, I'll talk about episode 3. So episode 1, titled The Huntress. I'm watching this episode, and I'm like, this is intriguing. This is interesting. Like, naturally it's about establishing the characters. It's about, like, when you have an affair story, you want to understand why our main characters, Cindy and Alan. Cindy is played by Elizabeth Olsen, and then you have Alan, who's played by Jason Pinkett. But here's the thing. You need Cindy and Alan and have us understand why, as always been, but us understand why first, not how these two met, but it's also the why aspect of things. Because it's, both of these characters are married. Cindy has a husband, and Alan has a wife. And you need to have us understand why they both want to have an affair to begin with. Now, Cindy is the one who's throws the idea in. She's like, hey, Alan, I find you attractive. And he's like, okay, cool, fine. And then he's like, the night later, he's like, we should talk about the idea of what you have in mind. And then she's like, oh yeah, I'm thinking of having an affair. And then they start talking about it, and also talking about the complications of it, because they know that the moment, if they start doing it, and it's going to be an ongoing thing, and if it finds out, because they also live in like a very Catholic friendship, you may say. All their friends all go to the same church. The neighborhood all go to the same church. Everybody knows each other and all that kind of stuff. And you need to have us understand the complications, the risks. So the concept of like, what are the pros and what are the cons, and why one might be a little bit hesitant while someone's like, oh yeah, let's just go to a hotel and just bang each other and pretend that we're not married and both are not married to other people and all that. You it's all setting the groundwork of what's left to come, because they've been hinting in this episode in the beginning, in the first scene, the last scene, blood, a bloody shower. So it's hinting towards someone's getting murdered. We don't know who, but someone's getting murdered. So there's gonna be someone dead, with a lot of blood and all that kind of stuff. I really do enjoy these characters, because normally what point would happen is, okay, people are having an affair and they're like, okay, off to the bedroom, and no, they're probably showing the realistic side of it. They're showing, like, if you're planning a affair, not a affair just happened, but if you're planning it and you know what you two are going to be doing, they are showing a sense of worryingness. How far is too far? Like, there's a part where Sydney's with a in a hotel room just getting ready, and she's like, oh no, what, I might have made a mistake. Have I made a mistake? I think I made a mistake. Oh no, what's going on? And then you had Alan, who's driving, and there's a part where I'm thinking, oh, he's not going to be showing up at the hotel. He's at the hotel, but he's going to probably drive away and go back to work, and Cole would say, sorry, we're going to call it off. But he does show up, and they have a lunch before they head to the bedroom. And you understand, like, the why aspect of things. Like, you have Sydney, who's, this is based on a true story, which I don't know nothing about, so don't tell me about, Well, if you want to comment below what actually happened, and the differences and all that kind of stuff, go ahead. But this show is set in 1978, and Sydney is a housewife, and she's, like, looking for something to film it, some excitement. She wants to feel alive. She feels like she has ticked every single box that, quote unquote, at what a woman's meant to do. I'm saying quote unquote with quotation marks. Is meant to do. Marry a man who can provide from you, have some kids, have a fancy house, have a decent house, and you will have a happy life, and the boxes all tick. And she's like, I'm not happy anymore. I want some fulfillment. And she's like, what's the most rebel thing I can do? Have an affair with another married man. And for Alan's case, Alan has a wife which he probably loves to death, but she is very, like, you can tell if there was a boss of the house, she's the boss of the house. And, like, even to, like, the bedroom, because the both of them, these two characters are trying to have a kid, and she's not, hey, can you do this? She's demanding him of what things meant to do. And you can tell, like, he loves passion, he loves sensual play, he likes that type of stuff, versus she kind of wants quote unquote squirts and go deeper and then slow and deep, and she's kind of like, go this, do this, go do this, and she's kind of blaming him for not able to to produce sperm. And I'm like, maybe because you're reminding him. And there's also a scene, and I'm like, okay, I get you. And also, the internet wasn't allowed to double check, because I double checked this outfit. There's a scene where Sydney and her husband Pat are with the kids, along with Alan's daughter, watching Grease at the movie theater. And it's Halloween. Halloween's around the corner, and Alan's daughter wants to dress up as Sandy. And not Sandy from 99% of the movie, as the 1% of the movie, as the end of the film, with her in all black. And the mom is like, no, that's not appropriate, which I get you, but it's not appropriate, you're going to look like a stank, and da. And I'm like, first things first, I double checked the outfit. I was like, look, the only thing revealing is her arms are showing. Like, everybody, I will say this. to all the people who want some accuracy, her stomach does not show. She does, in the movie, Sandy does not show her stomach. I will put it out there because it's, that outfit. And she's like, we should have never let her be in the movie. We go to that movie. I knew this, and he's like, it's a family film. Like, it's fine. It's like, no, it's a film about, with general businesscraft, blah, 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 blah. And Alan's is like, okay, it's no point arguing with you because, you can tell Alan is not happy at home. He doesn't, maybe he loves his wife, but not in the way it was. And there's things that just drives him insane. And he can't bring it up because you can tell that she's going to get very offensive and very, very opinionated and take every word by her, every criticism as a attack, not as, hey, there's this thing, maybe we should not do that. So you get it, you understand, and this is so for a setup and understanding the groundwork, it is a really well done first episode. But I will say this, if someone's going to have a divorce, maybe don't announce to the entire church that these two people are going to have a divorce. Maybe don't do that. Maybe have them come. Well, probably have their blessing, but don't just don't. It just doesn't make sense. I just feel like that's a little bit, bad taste to just announce to the entire room that someone's having a divorce. I'm like, nah, that's just bad. A bad taste. That's just bad. That's absolutely just horrible. But anyway, that's the end of episode 1. Now on to episode 2, which is titled Encounters. Now, the thing about episode 2 is that it does feel like a part 2. It feels like, okay, here's this. If this was a one big giant episode, but we're going to split it into 2 halves, this is when we'll cut it, but we'll just continue the scene, which I'm like, you know what? I quite like. I like that, we just treat it as, okay, this is where we'll cut off, see you next week, and then we'll just continue with the story, or in this case, with the 3 episodes. Or were they aware that, okay, the 3 episodes are going to be all at once, so let's, if you're going to binge it, let's, if you're going to binge it, let's figure out, a smooth transition to one episode to the other, that's to the point it feels like you're watching maybe a 2.5 hour movie versus 3 separate episodes. You never know, maybe there was an attention towards it. This episode is quite interesting because what you have is a weird way to be like the highs and lows of a affair, like doing the affair. Like if you're having sex with another person, that behind the your other half's back, there's some benefits towards it, and that is because it's that weird thing, right, where you're having an affair, like Alan's having an affair, and it's proving his marriage. He's more talkative towards his wife. He's being a better father, a better husband, a better community, a better job. Like, it's kind of, it basically, this sounds cool, but it's literally how it basically to word it out. Sydney's vagina is making him a better person outside of this whole cheating thing. And you're just like, and you got that as a pro, that, hey, whatever helps to make you into a better person and prove the things in life, go and do it. So there's the positives around it. Maybe not cheating, but, in this situation, whatever helps, makes you a better person, go ahead, right? The negative side of things is that because you are having sex with someone else and the other person doesn't know, there's a worried, and we're dealing with the 1980s, or now in 1979, we're at 1979, and Betty is starting to be like, ooh, come and, have sex with me. And because he's a little bit busy with having sex with Cindy, he's like, I'm too tired. She immediately jumps to, you're not attracted to me anymore. You don't find me sexually attracted anymore. We're going to go to a Catholic couple counseling a treat, and we're going to approve on our marriage over around this one encounter, which I always felt like, hey, one encounter is an encounter. Two is a pattern. If you wait for the two, but you can tell Betty is the type of person, as Alan has said, is Betty wants everything her own way, and she will fight for it. Or stomp her feet if it doesn't, basically my way is the best way, and that's essentially her mindset. Which is kind of like a weird thing to live by, because the world isn't fair, and the world isn't that. I will say this, so they have a new church ministry, because Jackie has left. And it's the classic, like, oh, the cheerful, everyone's happy, woo, singers, let's sing Brand New Day, and sing songs with God, and all that kind of stuff. And then the new ministry is you're gonna make, this is why people don't go to church, because it's boring shit. You don't make it entertaining, you don't do this and this. And of course the response is, dude, you are at church. We are in church, not a social gathering. So yeah, it's gonna be boring. It's like, yeah. And the moment he starts talking about, oh, I don't think we should have puppets, and Peter Weber's Jesus, maybe, or an angel, an angel utensil. That's just advertising the Lord. That's not a very Catholic way to go. I'm like, isn't fucking church just advertising the Lord? Hey, come to our place. Let's learn it. That's the definition of advertisement. To convince people to come to your place every fucking Sunday. That's actually the definition of advertisement, and all that. So I'm like, okay, that's, and that kind of. I couldn't help but laugh at anything dealing with the ministry. Even there's a really good edit in this. It's kind of like The Last of Us, like, was it episode 3, where it ends. It start. The cut happens at a sex scene, when Bill and Frank make love for the first time, and then you hear Bill, fuck you, and it sparks into an argument, right? You have that with this episode where Sydney's on, Sydney's on top of Alan, that having sex, and she's saying, oh God, oh God, oh God, and you just like, she's like, oh God, and then jump and quit to the ministry saying, oh God, please, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, like all that kind of stuff. I'm like, that's funny, absolutely funny. But Sydney in this, I'm like, Betty's gonna get murdered. I feel like Betty's the one, she's gonna murder Betty. It's the classic, you're stealing away from my man, so I'm going, like, essentially, my happiness was around Alan, and Alan's not going to be around to feel that happiness anymore, so fuck you, I'm going to take your life. That's what I think is going to happen. Because at the beginning, she's like falling in love with Alan. She's breaking the number one rule. And they, keep on Tindering it. And then the more, they keep, but then the more the episode goes around, when the moment there's a suggestion of calling off, she's like, no, don't shoot me. And Elizabeth Olsen's performance in that scene in the diner, where it's like, I'm pissed at you, but I'm also going behind that emotion. I'm just going to be using... Basically, I'm going to be angry at you, but I'm going to use laughter as my yelling. Yeah, I'm going to... My smiles is me telling you to go fuck yourself. I'm like, god damn, that's a goddamn... Yeah, acting choice, or I know it was in the pros and the SWIP or whatever, or if it was an acting choice, because you never know, it could be just the scene could just mean Sydney just snaps back and be like, no, you do not shoot me. It could easily be that. But yeah, the more in this episode she just becomes, the more she sees Betty, the more she's like, fuck you, bitch. The more she, like, the moment she's doing the meat grinder and she's just turning and turning and turning it, and she realizes it's not working, but she doesn't care. I'm like, and also we're thinking, I mean, Elizabeth also can play a wounded lover very, very well, quote unquote. Maybe she'll try it, with Wanda. Hey, at least Wanda, at least Sydney hadn't had that much trauma. I mean, every time Wanda did something in Doctor Strange, I'm like, god damn it. Wanda, no. In a painful way. And they're like, no, I feel bad for you. No, this is not the way to go. Versus like, all that. But, and also, she, was the best part of that movie. But anyway, me trying to make Star Witch jokes and it's not landing. Anyway, got one more episode for today for this video, and that is episode 3, title Stepping Stones. Episode 3 is also another really good episode where what you have is like. The beginning of the first episode, it started with blood in a bathroom. You're trying to hint what's going on. How do we came here? Clearly something got murdered. And we have to figure out who got murdered, right? And what this episode basically is, it's a classic... Everything's happy, everything's fine, everything is going the way things should be. We are heading to a direction that everything's hunky-dory. Until certain characters find out about the affair, and then someone brings an axe. I was like, lady, I thought Candy, I keep saying Cindy, but it's Candy. Candy, was going to do the whole, if I can't have him, no one else can. I thought they might be doing that, but in reality, they weren't doing that. What they were doing is essentially saying, basically, it is, you were my marriage, your home wrecker, so I'm going to throw an axe to you. Like, the one thing I can't wait till next episode is figure out the mind process behind that. Figure out, like, how the actually Lord of Fuck did, I found out my best friend had cheated on me, with my husband. Eating great. But I must kill her and chop her in pieces. What? Like here's the thing. Betty, you could tell has heavy, for the last couple of episodes, heavy insecurities. I feel change, and now what is? It's the classic, like, everything was going fine. Everything was wonderful. Everything was perfect until you had to show up and, I just, like, it's here's the thing. It's a really good episode, but it's like one of those episodes where, like, it feels like we're wrapping it up already. Like, okay, now the affair ain't happening anymore, and scene's fine. But there's more because there's another 4 episodes. Sorry, 5 of them. 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 4 episodes. I had to double check it just in case. Like, oh yeah, remember there's also this other one. But yeah, it's just not the way I wanted to go. And also, I love how Pat's reaction is when he finds out about the affair. He's like, let's find out what worked, what didn't work. Let's try to fix this. Versus, and naturally, a very knee-jerky way is, oh, I can't trust you. I can't trust you, so we must divorce. But because in the Catholic's point of view, a divorce is a big no-no, that is a bad thing. And the mindset is you work on it and 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 work on it until it's better. Like, talking will help and communication will help and that will get you to that destination. That's, and all that. I love the new the preacher who's like, oh fine, just bring Jackie along. Like he's just this insecure kid. Like he probably just came out of Bible college or whatever, however you become a priest, and he probably and he got this job, and of course no one suspects him because no one is showing up or going to a different church. It's just there's some really good stuff, really good performances. Elizabeth Olsen's crushing it in this role, and all that. But yeah, this is a lengthy one, but because I'm cramming 3 episodes in one video. But next time we'll on next Thursday. Thursday? Yeah. I'm seeing Guardians on the Wednesday, not Wednesday night, not Thursday night. But going to today, so I'll be covering episode 4 on next Thursday. But the plan is, like, if there's a movie on that Thursday night, I will be covering that, and then maybe the day. But then I got sitting out. Anyway, I'll figure it out. But next week we'll be on episode 4 talking about why the fuck with the axe? Why axe all things?